Good morning. I'm Purnima Puri, and I've been involved in Robin Hood for 15 years. I joined Robin Hood 15 years ago mostly because I was inspired by the depth in which they engage in organizations, and KindWork is a perfect example. Robin Hood is New York City's largest funder of workforce training. We invest in programs preparing low-income New Yorkers to get not just any job, but jobs with family-sustaining wages on long-term career paths. This morning's next honoree is doing just that. KindWork was founded in 2019 by tech industry veterans who saw a disconnect between hiring in their field and people who needed jobs. They quickly zeroed in on customer-facing roles, middle-skill positions critical to companies' success that don't require backgrounds in computer programming or in web development, and they didn't require college degrees. At the same time, they noticed an alarming rate of people taking dead-end jobs, particularly those from low-income areas and communities of color. KindWork's 6-week fellowship provides in-depth technical and professional training, job search support, and career coaching. 89% of people who complete the program get entry-level customer experience roles, mostly within 1 month of graduating. Kind workers earn average starting salaries of $46,000, so that's about twice what they might otherwise earn. They get great benefits and clear opportunities for advancement. So there's 4 things that people need to remember. 6-week fellowship, no college degree, 89% of people are getting jobs, and they make $46,000 a year. So that's changing lives. Robin Hood provided guidance in KindWork's pilot phase and sought them out as a pillar of our COVID relief strategy to get New Yorkers back to work. We've been enthusiastic supporters as KindWork grows their impact and undergoes a merger with another long-term Robin Hood grantee, Brooklyn Workforce Innovations. KindWork identified a gap in the workforce, and thanks to the high-quality program, they've built extraordinary people like the one that you're about to meet are rising up to fill it every day. For creating a robust new pipeline into careers in tech for talented young people, it is my honor to present this Robin Hood Hero Award to KindWork and Yiromys Vallejo.
Good morning, everyone. Being the daughter of a single mom means you know how to make things happen. There's not a lot of time to waste. As the oldest child and the first grandchild in a big Dominican family in the Bronx, I took on a lot of responsibility from a young age. My mom juggled 2 to 3 jobs, cleaning houses, and working all hours as a home health aide. So I picked up my sister after school, babysat on the weekends, and learned to wing it in the kitchen. My mom could never make it to parent-teacher conferences, but she had the phone number of the school office assistant and always called to check up on me. She never knew kids teased me for speaking Spanish or that I read the dictionary at lunchtime to get ahead. But she did know that I tested out of ESL as soon as I could. And by middle school, my English teacher praised my writing as college level. It was always instilled in me that I would go to college. But once I got there, it was very overwhelming. No one else in my family had ever been, and trying to figure it all out on my own caused a lot of anxiety. So I stopped going, and I took a job at a kids' dance school instead. After a year, I applied to be a patient care representative at a clinic in the Bronx. It felt like getting my first big girl job, like it might be the start of a real career. But management was not very engaged or encouraging, and eventually I was just going for the paycheck. Then COVID hit. I worked the front desk, registering and discharging patients. Everyone was sick. It wasn't unusual to see the doctors crying. I knew I couldn't be working 12 to 13 hours, getting exposed, and potentially bringing the virus home to my grandparents. So I had to quit. Not long after, I found out I was pregnant. It became clear that I was going to be the primary caregiver for my son. I was 25. Sorry. It was just the life that wasn't the life that I imagined for myself. I started going to work with my mom every day just for the company. I was sleeping in her bed at night. Even in a crowded house, I felt so alone. After Bryson was born, I battled postpartum anxiety and depression. But mental health isn't talked about a lot in my community. I didn't know where to turn, but I needed to figure it out for Bryson. I applied to every customer service job I could find. Then I randomly went on Craigslist and saw a listing in tech. I always thought you had to know how to code, that you had to be the smartest of the smart. But this listing says something about free training for customer experience and tech. So I took a chance. I clicked on it and sent in my application right before the deadline. I was really nervous, as always. But from the very first interview, everyone at KindWork was so warm and welcoming. Bryson was only 2 months old at the time. I knew it was going to be hard. But when I got accepted to the program, it felt like it was meant to be. Those next 6 weeks were intense. It was a 2-hour commute to Brooklyn, and I was really strict about getting myself there on time. I did most of my assignments in the middle of the night when Bryson was asleep. One day, KindWork hosted an employer event. A manager from a fintech company called Melio spoke. She talked about workplace culture and mentioned how she was a mother. And during the Q&A, I asked, how do you balance being a mother and building a career? She talked about how her family understands her goals and how she has a strong support system. And I started to imagine myself working for someone like her. Leading up to graduation, you're supposed to have 1 to 2 jobs a day that interest you in your job tracker. But I already had 30 in mind. I kept telling myself, I'm leaving here employed. Then just before the program ended, I found out Melio was hiring for customer experience associates. The old me would have had an anxiety attack. But I leaned on my fellow kind workers for support and took it one step at a time. After 5 rounds of interviews and meeting over a dozen people at the company, I got an offer. $65,000 plus equity that vests over 4 years. 22 days of PTO, health insurance, an education stipend, an annual percentage gift towards my 401k. It was the best entry-level package I've ever heard of. Thank you. I was so happy I cried when I told KindWork over Zoom. It felt like all my hard work was finally paying off. It's been a year now, and I love my job. I love helping customers solve complex problems and training new associates. My managers are always asking me, what do you want to do next? And all my coworkers know Bryson. I even bring him to the office sometimes. I feel like I can be fully myself for the first time. Earlier this year, thanks to the money I've been saving up, Bryson and I moved into our own apartment. I got accepted to Lehman College, where I'll finish my degree in business. Thank you. I got accepted to Lehman College, where I'll finish my degree in business administration and eventually get my MBA. I want to be a first-generation homeowner. I want to have a big house where I can do family events without everyone being on top of each other. I want Bryson to have access to all the opportunities I didn't have. And I want to help other people reach their full potential. Being a single mom was never in the plans. And at first, I feel like I failed. I know how much my mom sacrificed to give us a different life. And it felt like having a baby on my own was the one thing I was never supposed to do. But now, I'm like, yeah, I'm a single mom. A single mom with an amazing career. I'm gonna take this opportunity and run with it. Having my son has made me the best version of myself. Without KindWork, I would have never known this life was attainable for me, or for people who look like me. There's so much untapped talent in our communities. I truly believe it benefits companies to have people from different walks of life in one office. It brings more ideas and different perspectives that improve the business. It's a win-win. Anyone who knows me will tell you that I've always been terrified of public speaking. Can you tell? I've run out of presentations in front of crowds a fraction of this size. The fact that I'm up here today in front of over 400 of you proves the power of KindWork, the quality of the training, the confidence I gained, and just how much they care. I'd like to thank my mom, Mom, thank you for all the time, energy. Here it comes again. Thank you for all the time, energy, and effort you put into me and my siblings, and for taking such good care of Bryson. You give us so much so I can go to work and give it 100%. All of this is because of you. And I also want to thank all of you for investing in programs like KindWork and BWI, and for giving me and so many people like me the chance to go after our biggest dreams. Thank you.